Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Galaxy Art Media. Today I will show you a new telescope from SVBONY, the 501P. It is a beginner telescope just under $90. Now I will open the box and let's see what we have inside. Okay, so first we have a very nice backpack here from SVBONY, and this will help you travel easier. Let's open out the SVBONY backpack. So we have here the SVBONY 70 telescope, and let's place it here. We have here the small tripod from SVBONY. Okay, and we have here also a manual. And here you can learn how to use your telescope and how to mount it on the tripod. Okay, and here we have some accessories. So we have here a small finder scope that we will install here in this slot, and here we have a small diagonal. Is a 45 degrees prism. Using this diagonal prism will help you also to get corrected views on terrestrial viewing. Okay, so we have here the small telescope. We have also a small mounting plate that we can attach on the tripod. Here we have a dew shield that we can take out very easy, so this will make easy to clean the lens of the telescope. Very lightweight telescope, very easy to carry. And let's see, we have a 1/4 of an inch focuser that will attach the diagonal. We have here a plastic screw, just a second. So now let's place back the dew shield, and now we can place here the diagonal like this. We'll take the cap, okay. This telescope has 70 millimeters aperture and 400 millimeters focal length. Okay, and using with a 20 millimeters eyepiece will give you 20 power. Now let's see, we have here the eyepiece, and we will use this eyepiece here in the star diagonal, in the prism diagonal, like this. Okay, and now we are ready to place this telescope on a tripod and use it to observe the moon or the planets. Having a small focal length, it is not ideal to get a lot of details from the planets, but if you are using a Barlow lens like 3, 4 or 5 times Barlow, you'll be able to get closer views of the planets. Or you can use a high power eyepiece. So using a 5 millimeter eyepiece, this small telescope will give you some nice views of Jupiter and Saturn, and also beautiful views of the moon craters. Now we are ready to place this on the tripod. We have here the tripod. Okay, very nice tripod. So for this telescope it will hold. It's an aluminum alloy. If you extend this tripod, it might not hold so good on strong wind, but I will test it and I will get back to you on this. Now let's see. Here we should be able to screw here the telescope on the tripod like this. And we have here this screw that we can tighten it. Okay, so now we have the SVBONY telescope here on the tripod. I will place it like this. And if I do want to observe, Let's test it. Oh, I already see about 7 kilometers away a big factory that I did film it with my other telescopes. The view is corrected and seems sharp. Sharper than I expected. Very nice details. You can use also a smartphone with a smartphone adapter and can do eyepiece projection astrophotography on the moon or on the planets. Also, you can use it for daytime videos or images. If you have a good table that will not move and will not make vibration, you can use this telescope on a table like this and observe the moon or the planets. So placing this finder scope was easy. I just needed to unscrew these bolts here. Then I placed here the base of the finder scope. Then I screwed those two knobs. The views were very sharp with this 20mm eyepiece. Really good deal for $89. You get a nice tripod, a 70 aperture telescope with 400mm focal length, and also a nice backpack. Okay, if it's your first telescope, you can check also here the manual, but it's really easy to set up. It took me a couple of minutes to place it on the tripod and to place the finder scope. So I really have some nice views. Let's focus. You can get good fast focus using this small focuser. It is a coarse focusing knob. So there are two coarse focusing knobs for fast focusing, but focusing now on about 7 kilometers distance was really easy, and I did have a very good and sharp image. I'm using now my smartphone to film a distant factory about 6 to 8 kilometers away, and I'm also using the Leeuwenhoek smartphone adapter. I do have a very nice adapter from Leeuwenhoek that I place it here on top of the eyepiece, and we can see some nice views here with the smartphone. So we can see some beautiful views here on my phone with the SVBONY SV501P. So we have some distant hills and a mountain that we can see there in the background. And now let's move a little bit more. We have some houses here, very nice views. I'm filming the town using my SVBONY 501P at 400mm focal length with a 20mm eyepiece using my smartphone Huawei P9 Plus. So we can see very nice details here. We can see the cars, and if people walk near the street we will see them. Very nice views. We have some nice images with the SVBONY 501P. Now let's test the SVBONY 501P with the DSLR camera. So first I need here a T2 ring for my Nikon camera and a 1/4 of an inch nose piece. I will place here the T2 ring and rotate until I hear a click. So we are ready now to use the camera, but first we need to remove here the diagonal. So we removed it, and we must make sure the tripod is steady, and let's place here the camera. We have here also a warning note from SVBONY. Warning: never attempt to view the sun through any telescope without proper filtering. So if you want to observe or image the sun, you should only do this if you have a proper solar filter. I'm using my SVBONY telescope with my Nikon DSLR to film a faraway factory. You can play a little more with the focus. So using this tripod we will have vibrations. So if I change the position, at 400 millimeters focal length with an aperture of 70 millimeters. So we have f5.7, we have a fast focal ratio with this bright small telescope. f5.7 is a fast ratio, so very nice telescope for the price, only $90 US. So for a telescope under $100 that you can use also for terrestrial views, for lunar and planetary views, and also for stargazing, is a good deal. You can see the links in the description below where to buy the telescope from SVBONY. I'm here with the SVBONY SV501P and I place it on the tripod. I did extend the tripod at maximum. Here we have a knob that we can loosen up or tight here, and we can change the height of the tripod. You can go lower with a telescope or place it at the maximum height. Also, with this knob you will be able to move the telescope left and right. Using this handle here you can rotate to loosen up a little bit or to tighten it, and you'll be able then to move more freely with the telescope. And let's say we do have a position here, then we tight. If you do not lock here the tripod, then it will not hold, especially with a heavier camera. The tripod is a beginner tripod, very lightweight. We have here this small finder scope that works good. These knobs will help you center the finder scope with the telescope. We have here a nice focusing knob that works good, and also the focusing works also. It is a basic coarse focusing for fast focusing, but it works nice. With this knob here you'll tighten the telescope on the mount, and be sure this base will be perpendicular with the tripod base. At this height you can easily use this telescope and the tripod for observing and stargazing. You can use the star diagonal and the eyepiece without having to bend much, so it is usable. Also you can use a chair and go lower with the tripod. However, if you do want to use the camera, then you need to bend more. If you do want to use this telescope often with the camera and film the moon or the planets, best to use a higher and more solid tripod. Now we unscrew this, we let loose, and let's see, this might have problems with a heavy camera, so we need to push it a little to work. It did blocked a few times, so I had to pull the focuser. It is also unbalanced. To prevent the focuser of being stuck, I just moved back the camera about 1 centimeter, and you can see here the T2 ring adapter. So I did not have to take the throw tube all the way out, and it seems the focuser worked okay after. Now I'm filming the moon. It is close to zenith. I will take also some images, but now I will leave this video, leave a couple of minutes until it get out from the frame. Okay, so I'm filming the moon with my SVBONY telescope. We have some clouds passing in front of the moon, thin clouds, so the weather will change soon in a bad way. I did manage to test it with my DSLR camera on the moon, so we can see the clouds. I decided to use my DSLR camera with a 5mm eyepiece to capture the moon through my telescope. This method is also called eyepiece projection. I did kept the diagonal mirror and insert the 5mm eyepiece, and after I attached my DSLR camera using an adapter from Butter. This time I'm using the Nikon D3200. I do not have to take the draw too far. Do not tighten too much because the draw tube will bend a little and will have some flexure. For heavier equipment, heavier eyepieces, if you want to use it with a camera, I do recommend to use a heavier tripod because this one will have vibrations and will be heavier to use. And now I'm filming the moon. Clouds will come soon again. Using my Nikon D3200 with 5mm eyepiece Butter Hyperion and my SVBONY SV501P. I'm testing the SVBONY 400mm focal length, and with 5mm eyepiece we will have 80 magnification. So nice details on the moon. Unfortunately we have clouds again. I did went out a couple of nights until I managed to test this setup. First I've tested on the original tripod, but it was a little bit harder to work because it had vibrations and it was harder to focus. However, it was doable. And after I did change to my other tripod, the Miliboo video tripod, that is a serious heavy duty tripod. So I do recommend for this kind of work with heavy equipment to use a heavier and more solid tripod that will give you better results. Now let's move on and see the next test that I made with the SVBONY 501P on the moon. Now I'm using my Nikon D7200 and my SVBONY 501P with a 5mm eyepiece. I'm filming the moon. We can see some chromatic aberration, some blue-purple fringe in the right, but we can remove that in Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so the SVBONY did hold a heavy eyepiece and a DSLR camera with also the small diagonal mirror that we have here. I'm using now my smartphone camera from my Huawei P9 Plus with a 5mm 2-inch eyepiece and my SVBONY 501P. I'm now filming the moon. It's moving fast. I think I have around 80 magnification. The Butter Hyperion 5mm eyepiece costed me, with the accessories, like 2 SVBONY's telescope. For $90 this telescope is a very good deal. You can use it as a terrestrial scope, image wildlife, use it as an astronomic telescope. You can observe the moon, even the planets. Also you can stargaze and watch the stars, star clusters, even galaxies like Andromeda galaxy. I'm using my smartphone adapter, the 11 hook A10, to be able to attach my smartphone to the telescope and to film the moon using my SVBONY 501P. In this phone holder I will attach my smartphone, the Huawei P9 Plus, and let's begin. We do have some nice views with the moon without any zoom with my smartphone Huawei P9 Plus. I'm impressed by this small telescope. I'm using the diagonal mirror and it is very good for a beginner diagonal mirror. Also it's corrected. It does give some nice sharp views. I really like the quality of this telescope for $90, 89. For this test we can see some chromatic aberrations. This can be also from the eyepiece. We have Arcturus filmed with my SVBONY 501P with a 20mm eyepiece and my Huawei P9 Plus. Let's zoom in. Here we have my SVBONY 501P, my new telescope, and with a Skywatcher ED80. I'm piggybacking. So I mounted the SVBONY telescope here on my Skywatcher ED80. This is also called piggyback. And I'm using two DSLR cameras. Fortunately, I do not have exactly the same field of view, so it is a difference. For now, I will make a few test shots. Here we have Capella zoomed, so we can see some chromatic aberration here. On the images that I've captured using the SVBONY telescope, on Messier 44 and on the star Capella, we can notice chromatic aberration. Also, the stars, they do not look perfectly round. First I thought it is coma, but looking closer at the images, I think this is a case of pinched optics. The stars seem to have a triangular shape and we can see visible flares. I will try to play more with the telescope and see if I can correct this problem, and if I will make another video with this subject. Now let's see my experience with the SVBONY telescope on stargazing. I went out, placed the telescope on the tripod and equipped the 20mm eyepiece. It was a pleasure to use the SVBONY 501P to observe Messier 44, and I do want to observe soon the planets and the Andromeda galaxy as soon as it will be visible in the sky. To improve the stargazing experience, I would replace the tripod with a more solid tripod or with a Dobsonian mount, so you have more flexibility when you move the telescope. To be able to observe the moon when it's close to full moon or is in the full moon phase, you need also an ND filter. This is called the Lunar filter. Now this will help you without the moon will be too bright. So with this 20mm eyepiece that we have here, we need this filter so we can observe the moon in this phase. And I'll use it here. I have here the SVBONY. I did use the SVBONY telescope also to observe the moon using the 20mm kit eyepiece and also the Bader Hyperion 5mm. In both situations the views on the moon were fantastic. Very crisp and sharp views. You can use this telescope also for solar imaging with a solar filter. Here is the field of view with the SVBONY telescope at 400mm focal length and with the ZW224MC camera. And here we have the sun with the ZW290MC camera. This camera has a very nice field of view for lunar and solar images. Now I do want to show you the results that I had using my ZW224MC camera on the moon with the SVBONY 501P telescope. I was impressed by the results that I had on the moon using the SVBONY 501P telescope, amazing lunar images, impressive results for the SVBONY 501P, a telescope under $100. I do not know of any telescope that can perform better at this price range, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video with the SVBONY 501P telescope. Do not forget to subscribe and click on the bell notification icon so you won't miss any of my new videos. I'll see you soon in the next one, and I wish you clear sky.